This video is brought to you by my new book, Cryptid and Other Stories of the Bizarre and Terrifying. If you're looking for something to give you some nightmares before bed, then feel free to check out the links in the description. Back in 2009, Rebellion and Bethesda collaborated to give onto the world a shooter that would go down to become one of the most recognizable additions to the FPS genre. Just not for the reasons any of them were expecting. Rogue Warrior is one of the worst games ever made, and like Plan 9 from Outer Space or Ride to Hell Retribution, it more than earns the accolade. Everything from the graphics to the gameplay, the presentation, and even its modern technical issues are so bafflingly bad, it begs to question the competency of Rebellion's QA team of the time. But a bigger question is there anything here of value that makes it worth playing? And the answer is yes. Yes, there is, but before I discuss the small island of good, we first need to breaststroke through an ocean of shittiness. Hello.
Rock and roll, motherfuckers, rock and roll.
The graphics and the technical performance seem like a good place to start, so let's touch on that. They're bad. Like, really bad. This game came out just before the 2010 Aliens vs Predator, and while I like that game, I always did find the graphics and the presentation to be lacking in some areas. Here, those issues I had are cranked up to 11. Textures are flat, with inconsistent levels of quality, with the character models falling into some sort of uncanny valley, where in some areas they look fine for the time, but in others they look years behind. Not even the lighting manages to work as a foundation for beauty. I've always found that Rebellion's games tend to have great dynamic lighting, going as far back as the Aliens vs Predator game from the 90s, and it always helped to create a great sense of atmosphere in every one of their titles I've played. Here that's not the case. You're constantly followed through drab and uninteresting environments that are painted with the brown and grey colour palette dirt spectrum that plagued shooters for years after Call of Duty introduced the world to the modern warfare shooter. The PC version as well has issues with modern PCs. On Steam, people have had problems just getting it to run on modern systems. Me though, I was lucky, and it played without the need for any external fixes, but that didn't mean it ran without problems. Animations would glitch out, the enemy AI could be outright retarded, cover wouldn't do its job at times, and there was a recurring glitch where if I tried to reload a gun but entered or left cover, the reload would be cancelled, leading to some really tight spots that did not need to happen. Now that's something that tactical thinking would be useful for, right? And this game is billed as being a tactical shooter. Hell, it's even adapting the literature of real-life Navy SEAL Dick Marcinko, so surely you think the use of military tactics would come into play in some aspect, right? Nope. There are no tactical options here, unless you count getting behind cover. The levels are all linear, so you're just going down a hallway. There are some more open areas, but they're really just there so you can choose to either do what you've been already doing the whole time, or do something else briefly, like make decent use of a sniper rifle for this one area. So the majority of the time, you're just doing one of two things with this game. You're either getting into shootouts with commies, where you occasionally throw a grenade, or you're either sneaking or running up to enemies and introducing them to your friend, Mr. Knife. This wouldn't be so bad, and I dare say even comical at times, if it wasn't made annoying at how cheap just about every death in the game can be.
Hide and seek, motherfuckers.
You have so little health, and it takes so long to regenerate that you can go down before you even have a chance to get into cover, let alone shoot back. This is sad because there are actually brief flashes every few seconds that hint at what this game could have been, and these may even be glimpses into what the game was originally envisioned to be. Honestly, there are only two good things I can say about this game. The first being that it's mercifully short, clocking in at around 2 hours tops on normal difficulty, and considering the full price is $7.50, at least the price is proportional. The other is that the game overall is just so bad, it's good. Okay, now wait. I know I've spent the better half of this video crapping on this game, but honestly, when everything comes together, it becomes a diamond-like petrified turd. It's worth playing for how laughably horrid it can be, and this is helped, no joke, by the few qualities that are genuinely good and make up the small island of goodness amongst a sea of shittiness. The music, for one, is legit fantastic, and it sounds like it was ripped right out of one of the first Blood movies. No joke, it really got me hyped for shanking commies in the throat. I don't know who the composer was, but I do hope they're still getting work and got an award for their work on this game. Probably the only non-ironic award this game would have gotten. The violence too, while it's not the most gruesome, it's wonderfully over the top and presented with a cheesy action tone that just permeates throughout everything. And then there's Dick Marcinko himself. He's voiced by Mickey Rourke, who is giving one of the cheesiest, stupidest, and most lovable performances of his career, even though it's clearly just a cash grab. Every time he opens his mouth, it's always to spout off some one-liner, disobeying his superiors, or just to swear worse than a sailor, and some of these are great to listen to, and, no joke, were even mixed together to make the ending theme for this game. Here, take a look, see what I mean.
Send me the bill, cocksuckers. Rock and roll, motherfuckers, rock and roll. That's the factory. The great leader must have a tiny dick. There's a Pope shit in the woods. Looks like the douchebag convention's in town. Copy that. I'll head for the docks as soon as I sanitize this shithole. What a shithole. How the fuck did I end up in Jersey? Fucking wind is so cold it'd freeze the balls off a fucking polar bear. That asshole's still twitching. It's a total goat fuck. Suck my balls, my hairy fucking big balls. Wrap them around his fucking mouth. These motherfuckers are loading him on a train. Back to the USS fucking R. I hope I'd never come back to this shithole. What took you motherfuckers so long? Not as sorry as those motherfuckers. Get in my way. No surprise, motherfuckers.
Happy fucking birthday.
That's right, Natty, now you sweet piece of shit. Enjoy the ride, cocksucker. Have a nice trip. Boom time, baby.
Honestly, for me, his performance is the clincher that actually makes this game worth slogging through. Hearing him yell out to proclaim to the world how he's going to have intercourse with a North Korean soldier's mother never got old. Making the $7.50 price for admission almost worth it in its entirety. Almost.
Here comes the boom.
Well, that was certainly an experience, wasn't it? Rogue Warrior sure was the right way to cap off 2021 and to help get into 2022. A sequel to 2020? God help us all. Anyway, I'll be kicking off next year with a review of the Halo Infinite single-player campaign. I cannot wait to get into that. And for movie reviews, I promise, I swear to God Almighty, I'm gonna get back into doing those regularly once again. I don't know how, I don't know why, I fell out of doing them, but I do want to get back into them. I promise that will happen one way or another. Anyway, I've got all that and more coming up, so please, like usual, stick around and also keep being a wonderful person and maybe, just maybe, hit the like and the subscribe buttons as well. Thank you!